It all began when my grandmother passed away. She was the matriarch of our family, and her death left a void that we all felt deeply. After the funeral, we gathered at her old house to sort through her belongings. Among the many treasures and trinkets, one item stood out: a beautiful, ornate mirror. The mirror was unlike anything I had ever seen. Its frame was made of dark, carved wood, and intricate patterns adorned its surface. The glass itself seemed to have a faint, eerie glow. My mother told me that it had been in our family for generations, passed down from one member to the next. Since I had always been close to my grandmother, my mother decided to give the mirror to me. I was honored and carefully took it home, not knowing the darkness that came with it. I hung it in my bedroom, thinking it would be a lovely reminder of my grandmother. The first night, I slept peacefully, but the second night, I woke up to a strange feeling. It was as if someone was watching me. I sat up and looked around my room, but there was nothing there. The mirror, however, seemed to be reflecting something unusual. I shrugged it off as my imagination and went back to sleep. A few days later, things started to get weirder. Objects in my room would move on their own. I'd leave my keys on the dresser and find them on my nightstand. Books would fall off the shelves without reason. I began to feel uneasy in my own home. One night, I was lying in bed, trying to fall asleep, when I heard a soft whisper. I couldn't make out the words, but it sent chills down my spine. I looked around, but I was alone. The whisper seemed to be coming from the direction of the mirror. I got up and covered it with a sheet, hoping that would stop the strange occurrences. But things only got worse. I started having nightmares, vivid, terrifying dreams that felt all too real. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, heart pounding. In the dreams, I saw a figure trapped inside the mirror, calling out for help. The figure was a woman, her face twisted in agony. Desperate for answers, I called my mother and told her about what was happening. She was silent for a moment. Then she told me a story I had never heard before. According to family legend, the mirror was cursed. It had been owned by a distant relative who practiced dark magic. She used the mirror for her rituals, and when she died, her spirit became trapped inside. My mother advised me to get rid of the mirror, but I was hesitant. It was a family heirloom after all. I decided to do some research first. I went to the library and looked up everything I could about our family history in the mirror. What I found was disturbing. There were accounts of other family members who had owned the mirror experiencing similar strange events. Some had even gone mad. Armed with this knowledge, I knew I had to get rid of the mirror. But how? I couldn't just throw it away. I had to find a way to break the curse. I contacted a local historian who specialized in the occult. She agreed to help and came to my house to examine the mirror. When she saw it, her face paled. She told me that the curse was powerful and that breaking it would be dangerous. We needed to perform a ritual to release the trapped spirit. I was scared but determined. I couldn't live like this any longer. That night, we prepared for the ritual. We set up candles around the mirror and followed the historian's instructions. As we chanted, the room grew cold and the candles flickered. The mirror began to vibrate and a mist formed on its surface. Suddenly, the woman from my nightmares appeared in the glass, her eyes filled with desperation. The historian continued chanting and I joined in. The woman's figure grew clearer and she seemed to be reaching out to us. With one final chant, there was a blinding flash of light. When it faded, the mirror was shattered and the woman was gone. I felt an overwhelming sense of relief. The historian told me that the spirit was free and that the curse was broken. I thanked her and cleaned up the remnants of the mirror. The strange occurrences stopped, and I finally felt at peace in my home. To this day, I still think about the cursed family heirloom and the woman trapped inside. It's a reminder of the dark secrets that can lurk in the most unexpected places.